All right, welcome back. You have to Good and Barrett. I'm going to try using our dot cam over here, and I'm going to try using our big screen. I'm going to use the examples right in the book for Chapter 5. Chapter 5 gets into the different types of views that you're going to see on the print. It gets very in-depth with section views, auxiliary views. I'm going to break this chapter into 2 units. The first part is basically what we're going to do is we're going to go through and discuss just the 6 principal views on a print. When you look at this basic object that you have, this is right out of your textbook. As you flip to, I don't know exact page number, but when you look at that object, basically what you're going to have, you can get 6 views off of that object. If you look right here, you have your front view, top view, right side view, left side view, rear, and bottom view. Now, typically on prints that you're going to see in industry, they're not going to give you all 6 of these views. Main reason being because it's going to take up a lot of paper. It's going to be very confusing. Typically what they're going to do is they're going to give you 3 primary views. Now, in most prints, not all of them, but in most prints, they're going to give you the front view, top view, and the right side view. Determining what type of print that you have. For example, they might give you the bottom, front, left side. It's for you to determine. Usually you can get most of your detail out of your front view, and then your top view, right side view. Like I said, that's probably going to be the most commonly used format. But don't be surprised if they give you a bottom view or left side view or whatever it may be. So when you start breaking down these types of views, now we're using this object and the arrow is pointing to what view. For example, front view is pointing right at this side, so here's your front view. Typically on your front view, it's going to give you the most detail. It's also going to give you certain dimensions. For the front view, and I'll go through a couple examples here in the book. Like I said, Good and Barrett, I'm going to go over the dot cam here probably shortly and change to an actual print and show you. So front view typically is going to give you the length of the object and the height. Top view is going to give you the thickness or the width of that object, and it's also going to give you the length. When you go to the right side view, it's going to give you the height and the thickness or the width of that object. Now, as we go through these different views, you can see that when a print is drawn, these edges line up with those edges. It does that for a reason. So that's how you can get dimensions. That's how everything is going to be drawn in a line. So for example, the top of this object lines up at the top of that object. Same as the bottom. Same as this hole. You see this hole? As you transfer over to this view, you can see there's 2 hidden lines. We talked about hidden lines in Chapter 4. So these hidden lines right here are telling me, okay, there's a hole there. Also, there is a solid object line representing that point, and another hidden line down here representing that point, because you can't see it looking from that. You can't see this side right here. So as you go through these different views, everything lines up on these prints. For example, in this top view, you can see that there's 2 holes. In our front view, we can't see those 2 holes, but they are represented right here, and there, the edges and holes. Those are hidden lines, telling us that that hole is there. So, you're going to have 6 primary views. Typically, they're going to give you the front, top, and right side view. Not always. Sometimes they might just give you 1 view. They might only give you 2 views. So they're going to give you as many views as you need to identify everything on that object. So don't be alarmed if you're looking through your prints later on chapters and they only give you 2 views, because that's as many views as you need to identify all the objects on that print. So 6 primary views. You're looking at it from all 6 directions. And always in these prints, everything always lines up. So when you're actually drawing, there's going to be examples in the book where you got to draw your views in the same way. Actually, you start out in like a basic L shape, bring that down, bring it over, because somewhere over here that line is going to be represented. So everything lines up on all these prints. I got an example here in the book. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to rotate this and I'm going to show you. Go ahead and bear with me. So here's an example in the book, same object, the same object, and they give us the front, top, and right side view. There might be a little wave in here because the book is not sitting perfectly flat, but as you can see, as they use these extension lines, these sides line up, the top lines up on the right side view. So when you start drawing these objects, start out with a solid line like an L, get the basic dimension, and then all these lines will transfer over. Like I said, they're going to give you the overall length in that front view. The overall length is 5 inches. They're going to give you overall height too. So height, here we have 1 5/8 plus 3/8, so it's basically 2 inches. You can see the thickness of that plate plus 1 5/8. We haven't gone over dimensioning yet, but just good examples. So as you can tell, this hole here, as you transfer it over, boom, right there's a hidden line representing that hole. Transfer this over. There's a hidden an object line. This here is very close to being right where that hole is. That's why you see it's a little darker shade. Then as you go down, this hidden line is that point of that gusset or whatever it is. So as you start going through these different views, like I said, everything is going to line up. Doesn't matter height, width, length, thickness, whatever it may be. Very basic example of a print. Follow it. Make sure you understand it. And then again, if you have any questions, make sure you contact your instructor. I'll go through a couple more things too. As you can see, these holes, they're hidden in their front view. You can see them in the top view. That's what these hidden lines are representing. As you go up, you're also using center lines. Same here, a hole going this way. You can see there's 2 hidden lines here and there. You also see 2 object lines as you transfer that up. So that's what these different views are doing. They're giving you detail that you cannot get in other views. So as you go through the beginning part of this chapter, go through the examples, use your book. Your book does a very good job of explaining these different types of views. Very important. So this is kind of a fundamental set as we start getting into this class. You should understand all these lines on here, what they are. Now we just got to start determining what are they detailing? What are they trying to explain with this print? Because when you look at a print, all it is a sheet of paper with lines. Those lines are detailing certain objects or holes or arcs of what that object actually is. Get used to visualizing that object, being able to turn it. So as we looking at the front view, what they did here, take my hand for example, right side view, they turned it. Front view, they turned it like this, and now we're looking at it. This is the top view. That's what it looks like from the top view. So what they're doing is rotating that object so you can actually get better detail of what that object is about. Get used to doing that. If you, for example, we grab this roll of tape here. Get used to rotating. So this is my object, front view. So what they did is the right side view, because now we're looking at it from the right side, is they rotate it and they looked at it like this. Front view, top view, they're looking at it from the top. So all I did is rotate it and look at it from the top. Go through the examples in the book. I can't stress it enough. Understand these lines. Use each view that you're going to be doing. So all they're doing, right side views, rotating that object, looking at it from this side. Front view, rotating. So all they do is rotate that object and you're looking at it from a different view. Like I said, go through the examples in the book. This is going to be very fundamental. It's going to set you up for success later on in this course, especially when we start getting into more complicated prints. Thank you. Now, the next unit is going to be section views and auxiliary views. These are a little bit different. I'm going to go through some examples of these. Be sure you go through the book. I have plenty of examples in your learning plan of some of these different views. There's examples that where you click it and it actually changes the view for you. Go through all those exercises. Thank you.